Hello and welcome back to the Spotlight Games podcast for episode 188. Tonight, we're talking Star Wars, baby. We got some new Star Wars games last week at the Game Awards, and I have here special guest Nate, aka Heroic Headgear from the Content Mill, who is a certified Star Wars sicko. If you're not watching the video version of the podcast, he's got like 42 Star Wars helmets behind him, a baby Yoda, fucking Grogu Christmas sweater. We got the Star Wars princess here. I'm your host, Patrick, and here he is, who I just introduced and talked about, Nate. Welcome to the show, Nate. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I couldn't be more stoked to be on an episode talking about Star Wars.
A lightsaber too. I didn't see the lightsaber before, but you have two lightsabers? I see the second one now.
One behind, yep.
How about that? Is this an IKEA shelf they're all sitting on? The little IKEA square shelf?
I believe it was Target.
Ooh, okay. Nate, first time on Spotlight Games. Welcome.
Oh yeah, it is.
For those that
technically Dido first, and then
that's true, technically, yeah. For those that don't know you, maybe you don't ever participate in the Twitch chat, you don't ever participate in the comments or the Discord. They have like Heroic Headgear. What kind of name is that? Nate, who are you? What do you do? Why are you here?
Yeah, I'm Nate. I make helmets. I think that about sums it up. That's probably good enough. I mean, I also have this other little thing. It's called the Content Mill. It's another podcast. It's kind of in the sphere. We're homies.
Yeah, we're homies. Podcast homies, stepbrothers, if you will. But yeah, this is now the second time. So far, the Content Mill, 2 for 2. And sliding into my DMs and saying, hey, I want to be on the show. So here he is, because Star Wars happened. So that's what we're mainly going to talk about tonight. But here's the thing. We have a lot of video game stuff to talk about because this is the Spotlight Games podcast where each week we spotlight the latest and the greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Spotlight Games Pod or by searching for Spotlight Games in your favorite podcast app. And hey, you can be on the show by tuning in as we record live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here on twitch.tv/Spotlight Games Pod, just like Cirrus Shard, Cognitive Clips, High Score Weekly, Coal Mines, The Dumpster Boy, STC, Eula. That's a little rap I just made. I don't know. I wouldn't say that's a rap. I think that was just...
Would that be slam poetry?
Slam. That was a poet. The poet. That was a poet. I am a poem. That was a poet. You can be like them by following us on Twitch so that you're notified when we go live, so you can be part of the conversation. A couple housekeeping tings here at Spotlight Games, and therefore at Drop In, Drop Out Pod tomorrow. Oh, brother, we are dropping what might be the best piece of content we have ever recorded. We recorded it this past Sunday night over on Drop In, Drop Out. It is the Secret Santa special. The 10-second pitch that's probably going to take 30 seconds is that each of us were assigned a different member of Dido and had to play a game in secret and present our experience to them, ideally a game that they love that we have never played. And kind of the fun part is that we all got to present it in our own way that we wanted to. So it's definitely one that you're going to want to watch the video of, but it's going to be dropped as a YouTube premiere tomorrow night, Wednesday the 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself and a few other folks from Dido are going to be in the chat of the youtube.com/@dropin-dropout-pod premiere live reacting to the episode with you guys. So we hope to see you there for that. And then also, tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday night, other member of the Content Mill, Gianni, dropping in over on Drop In Drop Out Pod with Shay for a little PG and Shay when we do a Hades 2 spoiler cast, 8 p.m. Eastern Time ish on twitch.tv/Drop In Drop Out Pod. But that's not the only thing that we have to plug. Before I kick it to Nate to plug what he's doing, last night on the JK Games podcast, they talked about the 10 games that define them. I listened to the whole episode. It was very good. It was Josh, Jerica, and Kayla all talking about a bunch of games that mean a lot to them in various ways. So go give that a listen or a watch. If you don't follow JK Games, you might as well. You might as well go to dropindropoutpod.com and follow everybody. Do all the things. But yeah, the Content Mill. What is that, Nate? For people that don't know.
It's another podcast. That is me, Gianni DeCrosta, Eric, Mr. the Human, and Phil from 70% Complete. And it's another bunch of white guys having a gaming podcast.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of us.
Yes.
But hey, we do our best. Well, Nate, it's your first time on the show, and it wouldn't be a time on fucking spotlight games if we didn't talk about what we were playing. However, we did a little pre-show chatting, and you were like, I really don't have that much to talk about for what I've been playing. So instead, before I talk about what I'm playing, tell us a little bit about, to steal from JK Games a little bit, the games that define Heroic Headgear, aka Nate of the Content Mill. It can be just like a couple from your childhood. It could be your favorite game of all time. However you want to interpret the question. What are some
I'll go
go-tos?
by genres. How about that? Make it a
Okay.
little easier. I'm a big Western RPG fan, like, of course,
Sure.
KOTOR 1 and 2.
Oh, come on,
All
brother.
the
Come
Fallouts,
on,
Elder
brother.
Scrolls. Oh, brother. And then shooters are another big one. I am
Shooter.
Battlefield. Battlefield's the big one, so I'm getting treated this year.
Ah,
Six has been on repeat.
okay. I don't think I knew that you were a big shooter boy.
It's only specific shooters. I would
Okay.
say, like, Titanfall 2 was a big one for me, but, rest in peace.
Okay.
And then Battlefield and Halo. And those are like the big three.
Got it.
Everything else, I definitely prefer a more PvE environment, co-op stuff. Like
Nice.
Helldivers is also, I'm a big fan of.
Sure. If you could only play one game the rest of your life, what would it be?
Fuck.
We got him, folks. Got him in a
That's
corner.
rough. It might be Skyrim.
Sure, that's a safe one.
It's a
And
really
not
safe one.
safe, non-derogatory. I think that there's just so much fucking shit to do in that game that could keep you busy for quite some
Yeah.
time, even if you've already put 1,000 hours into it.
I could always be another stealth archer.
It's so true. I would never be a fucking orc mage, but stealth archer, that's something. Okay, well, welcome to the show, Nate. I'm so glad to have you. We will be talking more
Thank you
Star
for
Wars
having
here
me.
shortly, but before we do that, I want to talk about a game. I don't know if High Score Weekly's still in the chat. He might be lurking, little lurky turkey. But we also have Blaster Goblin in the chat now. Welcome in, Mr. Goblin. Also, Eula says the content million out of 10, which is very good. I give you permission to steal that.
The homie.
I am playing a little game called The Seance of Blake Manor. Are you familiar? Have you heard about this game? Have you seen this
Yes,
game?
I have heard about this. I've seen just the littlest bit.
I
arrived at Blake
brother,
Manor
that's loud as
today.
shit. I have the wrong B-roll up real fast. Let me drop this. God, Cayman really is just rolling in his grave right now, dude.
Yeah.
Seance of Blake Manor, it's like a puzzly mystery game. Some people described it to me as a Blueprints like, which, like, I mean, gets my fucking whistle wet because I love Blueprints from earlier this year. And I've only put like an hour into this video game, so I'm really very quite early, but I'm already so locked in. If you don't know the premise of The Seance of Blake Manor, it's an Irish video game where you play as an investigator, Declan Ward. Doesn't get much Irish than Declan.
Oh, what a name.
I know. I was almost named
That's
Declan, I've been told by my parents.
Oh.
Or maybe it might have been actually my brother that was almost named Declan. I think I was almost named Pork, which is also even more Irish than Declan.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know that I would be where I am if my name was Pork. But anyway.
Is there still time to change it?
There is still time to change it. Especially if our president makes me choose between being an American citizen or an Irish citizen. I think I know what I'm choosing. But in this game, you get to this manor in like rural Ireland, and it is the Blake Manor, as you might have put together based on the title. And there is a seance happening. You might also put together from the title.
Crazy.
And there's a missing woman who has been claimed to have just left of her own accord, but we know that's not true. And you are tasked with investigating this manor to try to figure out what happened to her. And then, of course, there's all these other things that are happening, all these other mysteries that you can stumble into. But so far, what I really like about the game is similar to Blueprints. There is like a time economy where, and with Blueprints, if you haven't played Blueprints, every time you went into a room, you would lose steps. So steps was your economy of until like the day ended, essentially. Whereas with this, whenever you investigate something or talk to somebody, that costs time. And it tells you how much time it will cost before you do the thing. So it's this like weighing, is it worth talking to this person and maybe discovering something, or maybe just wasting time, just like getting facts and color about this world and this character? Or is that going to be like the crucial piece to this specific mystery that I'm trying to solve? Because it also, it gives you like time limits. So like the very first thing you get there, you have to by midnight, and you start at 11 p.m. figure out a certain thing, and if you don't figure out the thing, game over, and you have to start over. Now you can
Okay.
like save points, you can reload saves at certain times, but
Yeah.
I've already found out once that I kind of soft locked my way out of this like first run. I was like, oh, 18 minutes isn't, now that I know how to solve this mystery, 18 minutes is not enough time to solve it. So I have to start over. And so I think I'm going to definitely be saving in 1,000 different slots as I play this
Yeah.
game. Because I don't love losing progress in a video game unless it's by design, which is rare for a game to make you lose progress by design.
Yeah.
So that didn't feel great, but it was the kind of thing where it was like, okay, but now I understand what I'm doing more so than, oh, I'm 7 hours in and I just lost 2 hours. So it didn't rub me quite the wrong way as other games have in the past. But yeah, I'm super locked in on this. I want to try to burn through it as fast as I can to give it a legit shot at cracking my top 10, because I don't know if we've actually said the specific date yet, but I think we have, on January 1st, it's a Thursday this year. Every major holiday in the end of the year has fallen on a Thursday. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all on Thursdays, which is when we do drop in, drop out.
Nice.
But we are actually going to do a live podcast for drop in, drop out on the actual day of New Year's, because most people just do New Year's Eve plans. And that's going to be our GOTY episode, our game of the year. So
Nice.
we're going to do what we did last year to launch Dido, which essentially it was just a spotlight episode, but we all put our top 10s together, and number one gets 10 points, etc. And we figure
Yeah.
out what's the best game as decided by science. Noah on mute, but spotting by to say hello. Hello, Noah. Thanks for being here.
I know.
But yeah, so far really locked in on the Seance of Blake Manor. Going to be playing more. I do think this game might be one of those games where it's like just a touch too complicated to not need a walkthrough for me, for my dumb little brain. But I'm hoping not to. I'm hoping that I'll just be able to figure out these mysteries on my own, and that it's not too smart for me. Because there have been some puzzle games like that in the past that I've played, like
Oh yeah.
Case of the Golden Idol, where it's like, I really love this game, but some of these mysteries are so hard, I have to look it up. And then it's just not fun to just look up how to get the answer and solve the mystery.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Do you like this kind of game at all? The like solve the mystery types?
Yeah, puzzle games, but it depends on the puzzle, and I definitely enjoy it more when it's like, oh, here's a puzzle section in a different type of game. Like
Okay.
every time Zelda gets really in its puzzle bag, I'm in for that.
Okay. But a game like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, you're not going to just sit down and just play a game that's all it is a puzzle, essentially.
Probably not.
Got
See,
it.
a lot of those I'll like hop in someone's stream and watch them do it because oftentimes they're smarter than me, and I don't want to be running my head into a brick wall. I'd rather watch somebody else do that.
Sure. Those kinds of games, like, because I tried Lorelei and the Laser Eyes on stream, in fact, but Rose and we played that together, but we didn't realize quite how math it was. And I can fuck with math, but Rose despises math. So we pivoted and did something else. But that's the kind of game where it's like I would like to play with a chat so that they can guide me when I'm being an idiot. So maybe I'll stream some Sands of Blake Manor. Who knows? But other than that, I don't have much to report on with what I've been playing. I have been playing other things, but they're not interesting because I've talked about them already. Like I've been playing more Yote. I've been playing more Metroid. I've been playing more Tetris 99. I've been playing so much Tetris 99. Jake ruined me. Jake's been streaming so much Tetris 99, and he reminded me how fun that game is. And I've legit probably put in 15 hours of Tetris 99 in the last like 2 weeks.
Listen, I understand. Back in the old pandemic days, you know, the dark times.
Oh yeah.
I at one point on Tetris Effect Connected, I ended up doing ranked Tetris so much that I think it was placed number 3 in Oregon for like a solid 2 months.
Oh my god.
I
Pro
got too
gamer.
into it. Yeah.
This just in. Reports are telling me that there's only 5 people that play Tetris in Oregon. Uh-oh, this is not good for you.
Oh no.
Oh no. No, I'm just kidding. Well, Nate, the reason for this season, The reason that you are here on Spotlight Games is to talk the big SW Star Wars. Last week at the Game Awards, we got not one, but two reveals of brand new Star Wars games. And it's not like they were just like casual Star Wars games. We got fucking a new Knights of the Old Republic and a new pod racer. Like,
two of probably the biggest things they could have swung with.
correct. So we're going to start there. I brought up the wrong lower third. We're going to start with the new Star Wars games at the Game Awards. And kind of unpack those, what we think, what we're excited for, etc. And then after that, Nate and I are going to build the definitive top 10 list of Star Wars video games ever made. So stick around for the best Star Wars games here in a bit. But would you rather start with FOTOR or would you rather start with whatever the pod racing game's called?
Let's start with a Galactic Racer.
Galactic Racer it is. What'd you think of the reveal of a Galactic Racer?
Oh my god, I'm so in. The original Racer is definitely it was one of my most played games on N64. So for this to be making a comeback of not just pod racing, but all of the racing. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
He has it on hand.
On hand. Unplanned, might I say. This happened to happen because I got an analog 3D today, which I could have talked a little bit about in what we're playing, but I didn't really get to put much time into it. But it just happens to be the game at the front of the pile.
But yeah, I'm so stoked for this. This is a like childhood dream come true of, hey, how about here's more of this thing that was like kind of niche. I feel like everyone played it, but it wasn't like the Star Wars game people talk about, you know?
Sure. But it does have its like a strong following for sure of pod racing. Yeah.
But also to be from X devs from, what was it, Need for Speed?
Criterion. And they did, let's see. I pulled a little bit of an article. This is from Chris Scullion at VGC. It's the debut game from Fuse Games, the studio set up in 2023 by a team of former Criterion leads. Features a new character named Shade, who's described by Fuse Games co-founder Matt Webster as a, quote, lone racer with a dream of glory and revenge. Players will learn more about the Shade as they progress through the game's campaign. Your aim is to survive long enough to earn your shot at becoming an elite racing pilot. The races are high-stakes competitions where racers do everything they can to get to the front in the solo campaign and in our awesome multiplayer gameplay. So it's going to have like multiple types of game modes and also multiple, obviously, types of pods to be raced, which is very exciting. Also, Ryan Selvey joining us in the chat says, now this is pod racing, and then also points out my simping for N64, my groveling for N64 games on my Instagram. If you don't follow my personal Instagram, I put out a story today asking people if they have N64 games just lying around that I'll pay you for, which I stand by for people in the Twitch chat too. If you want to ship me N64 games that I pay you for, let me know so I can play them on this their analog.
No
3D.
offers yet?
I've had a couple people have. One person said, "Oh, I think I have pod racing," and then I found my pod racing cart, so I don't need that anymore. Although I need to test it to make sure it works. And then I had one other person say, "Let me check when I get home." But only two people so far. Not a good start to my journey for N64 games. And then Ryan says I can pry the N64 games from the hands of his cold dead body. I think the children today would say bet.
The kids would say bet.
I believe the kids would say bet. So countdown is on for Ryan Selvey's cold dead body. That is a threat. I can't fucking wait though for pod racing because I've played I loved the N64 version when it originally came out, and then I played the like remastered version on Switch or whatever, and I think it's on more than just Switch, but I think I played it on the Switch.
Only a few years ago, right?
Yeah, within the last 5 for sure. But it's such a unique, not even because of the coat of paint of Star Wars, but because pod racing is just such a unique racing style. It
feels so different than a car. It's not the same.
And it also, I guess the closest it would feel to is like F-Zero, but even then, like it's very different to F-Zero. And I like the kind of janky, like all of the pods have like a very heavy feel to them, for better
Yeah.
or for worse. And it's so I'm interested to see how they capture that with the new game. Is with them mentioning that there's going to be like all
Yeah,
sorts
it's
of
more
different
than just
speeders and
yeah, it's not just pods this time. It's both the speeder bikes and the land speeders. And just throughout all the movies and shows, we've seen thousands probably of those.
yeah,
So I'm interested to see if they're going to go a route of like, here's a select 15 of each type,
sure.
or if they do something, here's a building mechanic, make your pod or make your speeder.
Yeah, that will be very fun. Because it's the kind of thing, I don't know. It's like sports games and racing games just don't really do it for me anymore,
Yeah, too.
unless there's something actually unique about it that will gets me to want to come back. Like I've played enough FIFA and Madden and NHL in my life that the like sim sports games and sim racing games were just never really my vibe anyway. Other than Mario Kart, I don't really play any racing games anymore. But this is one that I'm like legit excited for.
Mhm.
So I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on it. I forget though, the little article I pulled didn't have a date in it. Let me go back to the
But they
B-roll.
they
Oh,
did
it auto
say
took me to a different thing. Let's see.
they did say 26 last night or
Okay, they
a
did.
couple nights ago. Yes.
Um, oh yeah, Suburba coming 2026.
And
That's right.
so excited when they mentioned that there's going to be a campaign and then they flash Bulba at the end.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be good.
Oh yeah.
I'm just, you think he's going to be a mentor role or is he an antagonist?
I think he's probably an antagonist, although it'd be interesting to make Sebulba a mentor role in Galactic Racer. But I feel like if he's not an antagonist, he is you know how like in a game there'll be like they'll kind of plant those like recognizable characters from IP and things as like, oh, he just runs the fucking
Mm.
booster part of the store. Like something like that, where they'll just have him in a
I
role.
really hope it's not.
I hope it's not that either. But it'd be cool if he was the mentor of like your main antagonist instead of just not even you're against Sebulba, but like you're against Sebulba's protege,
Yeah.
Sadingo or whatever.
Sadingus.
Sadingus, son of Sebulba would be very good.
Yeah.
And yeah, this one, I don't know that any of what we saw was gameplay. It was giving CG to me,
Yeah, I think it was all CG.
which, it makes me a little nervous for a 2026 date. I'm just always, if it's the end of a year and someone reveals that a game is coming next year, I don't believe it. Until I get a date the following
Yeah.
year. And even then, until it's like a week out, I don't believe that it's going to hit.
Yeah, I could see it getting pushed.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Unfortunately, but yeah.
Because right now, the only other game that's even somewhat potentially close to a release, even though we don't have a date, it's been announced for a while, would be Zero Company
Yes.
and Eclipse. But Eclipse seems dead. Like it's been
Eclipse isn't real. I'm
Yeah.
of the mindset that was it's vaporware. That was
Yeah.
never actually built into anything. Maybe there was early stages, but
I don't think Eclipse
think
is real
much of it.
either. So maybe we get Zero Company before this, but
I
unclear.
think so because like we've gotten a decent amount of gameplay from Zero Company as well, and like it very much it looks like XCOM,
Yeah,
but Star Wars, and I think that's enough for me.
sure. Well, speaking of enough for you, is only a CG trailer of Fate of the Old Republic enough for you, Nate?
For now, yes, especially because recently Casey Hudson did make a quote of somewhere where he said it's coming before 2030. So if that's November 29th, 2029, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah. Let's start there before we jump into our thoughts about the game, the trailer, or whatever. Do you believe Casey Hudson when he says, I'm not getting any younger. This game is going to be here before 2030. Do you believe him?
I think it is extremely hopeful optimism. And if everything lines up perfectly and the industry doesn't continue to spiral down, then sure. But with the state of everything, it's up in the air. If they have the dream team and everyone is already at 100 from start, sure.
Here's my thing. I was reading more about this. So I pulled another article from VGC. I love VGC. They're so good over there. Andy Robinson at VGC reports, director denies Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic could be more than 4 years away. Actually, this is not the part I'm looking for. Which part am I looking for? He denied suggesting blah, blah, blah. I don't see, maybe I didn't actually pull it over. There was a part of an article, whether it was this one or a different one. Oh yeah, here it is. The team is still being assembled for this game.
Okay.
That line right there was like, I don't know, unless it is. So Eula makes a very good joke in the chat. How photorealistic is this going to be? Honestly, that's the question, I think, for me on whether this hits 2030 or not, by 2030 or not. If they're going for AAA photorealism, ain't no fucking way this is out within 4 years. But if it's like a very stylized type, but like that's not what they showed us in the trailer. The trailer very much suggests that this is going to be photorealism.
Star Wars has always done that, though. You have to remember that even Star Wars The Old Republic MMO, all of their trailers are all done by Blur and are these crazy cinematics. But then you play the game and you're like, oh, it's 2012 graphics.
Sure. That's a good point. I can't explain why, but in my brain, this is different than that. Like this trailer looks like what they want the game to look like to me for whatever reason. But maybe, honestly, what I would love is if they put it in the same style as KOTOR and KOTOR 2, but it doesn't look like it came out 20 years ago.
Everything HD and
like honestly, I would be like very cartoony, not photorealistic, but that like almost
on the edge.
Yeah, and like it's not isometric. It's just like a third person view, but it's kind of like it's not over the shoulder. It's a little further out.
It's a little more back, yeah.
Yeah, I would fuck with that. Like I would be very down for that. And I'm also very interested to say, because they have not said this yet, probably because they're just assembling the team and they're still coming up with all the ideas for the game, I would bet. But are they going to go down the rabbit hole of the like turn-based KOTOR style or the action RPG? My gut says that they'll just make it an action RPG, but like don't immediately write off the turn-basedness.
Yes, I've been going back and forth with this myself for so long, ever since it was announced, because on one hand, if you do turn-based, that is definitely going to turn a lot of people off.
Sure.
And I think in the long run of getting a bigger audience, if it did play more like a Mass Effect, it could be a lot bigger. But if they do turn-based, I would love it to be something not exact, but more akin to a Baldur's Gate.
Oh, sure. So like a strategy turn-based kind of.
Yeah, but still that like active, like it kind of is in the original KOTORs.
Yeah, because there is a difference, obviously, between like the active turn-based and like a Final Fantasy or even an Expedition 33 turn-based, where you're still technically taking turns, but and you can also pause it. Yeah. But I do really like that style, and I think it's a style that just doesn't get used very much, which I would like to see changed. I would like to see more in that style. But I'll be a little surprised if they don't just make this an action RPG and have it be like real time, all that shit, not anything especially turn-based.
Because Casey Hudson's last few games, I think, were, what was it, Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda?
Yeah.
So if it played more like Andromeda, honestly, I'm going to love that. That's going to become my forever game.
Sure. Did he direct Andromeda?
I might be wrong. Might be pulling something out of my ass.
Because I think he left BioWare and came back, which is why I think maybe he didn't do Andromeda. But I know he did Anthem.
I think you're right. Yes.
Mass Effect Andromeda director. Mac Walters. Yeah, so not Andromeda.
Okay.
But he did come back for Anthem and then he left again. And you know, that's also the thing is like, okay, when you look at this guy's track record, like when I'm trying to be realistic with myself, dude did KOTOR 1, not KOTOR 2, because Obsidian did KOTOR 2.
Yes, yeah.
And then he did Mass Effect 1 and 2. Potentially 3. I think probably 3. I'm not 100%, but he did the Mass Effect series up until Andromeda, I believe. So far, bangers. But the last Mass Effect was 2010, I believe. And since then, I think the only game he's shipped is Anthem, which isn't good. So then it's like, okay, does the guy still have the sauce? It's been by the time this game ships, maybe 20 years since he delivered a good video game. I don't know.
My thing with Anthem though is like the bones of that game, phenomenal.
Really?
I genuinely enjoyed Anthem, and I think you can kind of see the seams where it's what the team wanted to do and what EA really wanted them to do.
Gotcha.
And I think the failure of that game, I don't know if you can pin that on him.
Okay. I played it when it launched for a little bit, and then I just it didn't vibe with me, so I don't have a ton of memories with it. So time has certainly probably colored my memories of that video game with how much people always talk shit about Anthem. But I do remember really liking the way like flying felt, and I remember liking certain parts of the combat.
It's the best Iron Man game we've ever gotten.
Yeah. One of the only ones. But still true. Kayla Gray in the chat, she's thinking this is going to be an open world RPG. I think that's a very good guess. I would like it if they go the like multiple worlds, multiple planets route, like KOTOR does.
That open zone where it's like open world, but they're all sectioned off. You can't run from one side to another.
Yeah. Kayla, we need an official Kayla playthrough of KOTOR. It's going to be an undertaking. It's going to be a lot of game to play. But, oh, brother. We're going to talk about KOTOR a lot tonight, I'm sure. But it is so good. Ryan says, did you guys play the Star Wars N64 game Shadows of the Empire? Let's put a pin in that question for the next topic when we talk about the top 10 Star Wars games ever made. Any other thoughts, though, on KOTOR before we move into the topic of the show?
Well, I could go into, what it actually means, because there's a lot here. Being KOTOR, Fate of the Old Republic, and its synopsis basically saying in kind of equal words, this is not the third sequel, that this is a spiritual successor.
Right.
I think there's going to be a lot of stuff in the background that we don't necessarily see until it's out about Disney having their hands in making this the first canon kind of appearance of the Old Republic. Because up to this point, everything's Legends. None of it's like real.
Right.
But I think with that synopsis saying it's like on the edge of rebirth of the galaxy, this is going to be their, okay, here's for the Old Republic fans of how it went from this to the High Republic and like that cutoff between eras.
And the High Republic being the first three, like episodes 1 through 3, is like what we know as the High Republic, right?
No, the High Republic ends like a couple years before episode 1. And that is their like time of absolute prosper and all of that. And then
the original. What content have we gotten in the High Republic so far? Because we've gotten content in the High Republic.
Yes. So the Acolyte.
Which,
love it or hate it. It's yes. And then a lot of books, a lot of comics, and then in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Dagan, the main antagonist in that, he's from the High Republic. There was a lot of connection there.
Got it. Okay. I didn't love the Acolyte, but I didn't hate it either. I think there were parts of it that were good. Not that, this isn't an Acolyte podcast, but you brought it up, whether we like it or hate it. Somewhere in the middle for me. I was disappointed that it got canceled.
Yes, I think they deserve to at least finish the story they were telling.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I ultimately we're both very excited for KOTOR, and I hope that it's real, and I hope that it's not next decade. I do think it's real, but I do think it's also next decade. But we'll see. Unfortunately, we'll see. All right. So when you came to me, Nate, you said, "Put me in, coach." I said,
say those exact words. Yes.
You said, did you really?
I think I said,
you might have actually said coach. That. Yeah. I think you did. And then earlier today, I messaged you. I'm like, if there's anything else like Star Wars, while you're here, if there's like a Star Wars thing that you want to talk about, let me know and we can. And then like 10 seconds in, I was like, ooh, what if we just rank the 10 best Star Wars games ever made? And that's what we're gonna do, because that was not a bad idea. So fantastic. this is what we're going to do. I'm going to, in a second, pull the car over to the B-roll scene. I have a little thing over in Canva that I've put together. We're just going to throw games out there. This is a long storied spotlight topic style where we'll just throw a bunch of games on a board, and then we'll decide what can make the cut, what can't make the cut, and then we'll move them around. And this is a time when I want the chat chiming in. I want the chat to say,
Oh yeah,
this deserves to be there. Fight for it. Maybe I'll even call you. Who knows how crazy we're going to get with this. But let's start with Ryan's question from a minute ago. Did you guys play the Star Wars N64 game, Shadows of the Empire? Did you play Shadows of the Empire, Nate?
Oh yeah. So if there is a Star Wars game, I've put my hands on it once at least.
Okay. You've played every Star Wars game.
Everyone that's like has a viable way to actually like play in the modern era. Okay. So I know there's some things that's like, it's this arcade cabinet that's like the nearest one is whatever the fuck Nebraska all the way out there and can't actually play it. But if there's any that are like online, I've played them.
Well, what'd you think of Shadows of the Empire?
Pretty good. I mean, that and I think is Dark Forces are the two that kind of go together.
Yeah.
And love both of those. That was, I think I only played one on the N64 and then the other years later on, I think it was added on the 360.
Yeah, and then I think Dark Forces just got a remaster like within the last
that might
6 or 8 months. Yeah, I played both of these games. Shadows of the Empire, I remember specifically the A-Wing Hoth level very vividly. Just trying to take down the AT-ATs with the little slutty little A-Wing. I remember that honestly being one of those times where I'm playing a video game. I'm like, oh my God, this is the movie. I'm living the experience that I've seen so many times and thinking it was so cool. I don't remember much other than that specific level of Shadows of the Empire. So I don't know how strong its legs are going to be in this race, but that is such a vivid, that one level is such a vivid memory for me. If I were to say to you, Nate, what is the first game you would put in the running for best Star Wars video game of all time? What would you say?
Ooh, either KOTOR or Republic Commando.
Those are two great fucking pulls. Can I just say, oh brother, what did I just do? There we go. Republic Commando was GameCube, right? Actually, I don't need to say what console it was on.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I
played it on the GameCube. I forget though.
You might be right. I never had a GameCube. I don't think I played it on there, but
yeah, it definitely was multi-platform from what I remember. Let me go look real fast.
Because I think original Xbox.
Let's see. Star Wars Republic Commando. We over in the Discord, Gianni also suggested we talk about Republic Commando. It's like, brother, we're talking about Republic Commando.
My boy knows ball.
I played so much Republic Commando as a kid. Because I remember this was, so at least a couple of the prequel trilogy had come out by this point. And man, Wikipedia is making it very difficult because they're talking about PS4. I was like, I know it was re-released later. That is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the original release. Republic Commando original release. Windows, Xbox. Apparently only Xbox and Windows at the start, so I guess I played it on Xbox. I really thought I played it on GameCube, but anyway, I remember fucking adoring Republic Commando and that idea of because I loved Star Wars even more as a kid than I like it now. And I remember, we're still there's so many, my screen share is kind of fucked up. There's so many things we're learning about video games in the early 2000s of genres we've never even heard of or graphical styles we've never seen. And I remember having the first real shooter experience in a Star Wars, thinking it was just the fucking cool and being able to give commands as the Republic Commando.
it wasn't just a shooter like a Battlefront. It was a tactical team-based shooter,
Yeah.
like something we hadn't seen before.
Oh, it was so good. And yeah, like giving the commands, because that though they had like an era then. Like there was another one. There was a really popular, like very militarized one called Full Spectrum Warrior, if you remember that.
I think I heard of that, but mine would be Rainbow Six.
And Rainbow Six, for sure, for sure. But these like give people commands, go take cover behind the wall or flank or whatever, was very popular at the time. And I think it was, that classic thing of like, there's only so much that we can do with the tech. So what's the creative way to put our own spin on it? And so tactics based became a very popular subgenre of a bunch of different genres. And yeah, so Republic Commando certainly going to have legs, because also another thing I remember about Republic Commando standing out to me was the amount of time on Kashyyyk, or Kashyyyk, however we say it these days, Kashyyyk, and that being a planet that I just always wanted more content from, and then we got like entire levels in Kashyyyk, and I was like, oh, this is fucking the best. Wookiees all over the place. What a game. Yep. But come on, KOTOR.
Yeah.
Let's save it. Let's save it, honestly.
Yeah, I think we have to.
Let's save it. Yeah. Ryan Selby saying, wait, Rogue Squadron was also great on NC4. I forgot about Rogue Squadron. Here's an admission
all too good
of mine. I have never enjoyed dogfighting in a video game. Any plane-based dogfighting has never worked for me. Like there are various levels of not fun for me. Like they're at its best, it's passable. And at its worst, it's just like, it makes me angry.
Okay.
So I'm going to have a huge bias against any dogfighting based video games. However, I can recognize that Rogue Squadron is considered to be one of the best, if not the best, of the genre. Yeah. So I think it makes sense to throw it on the list for now, at the very least.
Absolutely.
And it probably, honestly, will make the top 10.
So you're saying at the Game Awards you didn't pop for the Ace Combat trailer?
No, not at all. Not at all. Now, I'm more interested in that because of how narrative focused it seems to be, which is very strange to me. But yeah, not my vibes. And like, it's Ryan also saying Star Fox and Rogue Squadron were great. Star Fox, I've gotten in a lot of trouble on this podcast and Dido with how much I dislike Star Fox. I think Star Fox is so fucking boring. It just doesn't work for me. I don't know what it is. Something about that.
It's Slippy.
It's gotta be Slippy. Slippy's the problem. You get Slippy out of there, it's a 10 out of 10. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Wasn't ever for me. And maybe one day that'll change my mind. But when I went to my storage unit earlier today and got my little stack of N64 games that you can't see in this frame, I separated them by games that I'm interested in playing and games that I'm not. And Star Fox made it in the pile of games I'm not interested in trying. I don't even know why I have it, honestly. I must have been given it because I... At some point...
What's going to change your mind?
Yeah, what's going to change my mind?
You need a full flight sim setup. The whole pod that actually shifts and moves with you. Got the whole headset on, all the controls and stuff. That's going to change your mind.
There was a time in my life where I sat down. This was like, God, 2004 probably. I sat down at like a fully built flight simulator desk of like this really nerdy dad of a friend of mine. And I remember thinking, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened. And then he brought up Microsoft Flight Sim and I started playing it and I was like, this shit is so boring. What do you mean? I'm just at 10,000 feet just looking at clouds and that's it. Just not for me.
But hey, after an hour, you get to land.
Oh,
that's cool.
See, that's my bad. I walked away. I didn't get to land, and that's on my that's my bad. I feel like everyone had a friend with a nerdy dad. If you didn't, it was your dad. That's exactly right, Kayla.
Yes, that is accurate.
Okay, you know what? Let me pull the car over for a second and go back to the Discord. I mentioned Gianni throughout Republic Commando, but there were a couple other games that were mentioned. From our very own Kayla mentioned The Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Gotta be on the list. Do you think, should we be naughty and just say The Force Unleashed 1 and 2 or have them separated?
Yeah. No, I want to cheat and I want to put those together because I truly believe those played back to back is the best version of the story
Great.
instead of just one or the other. Yeah.
Force Unleashed 1 and 2 making the list. There was at least one other thing mentioned. A Republic Commando, and that's it. Okay. Wow, people just don't give a shit about this
Look at
topic in the
shit about
Discord.
Star
Jesus
Wars.
Christ. Sam Witwer.
Sam
you
Witwer can get it.
You mean Daddy Witwer? Jesus Christ.
You mean Daddy Maul? I'm so excited for the
That's
Darth Maul show coming out.
That's right. That's right. What else? We got KOTOR. I mean, I guess should we? I feel like we should separate KOTOR and KOTOR 2, though.
Yes. Yeah, I think that is a different case.
I think so too. And then, you know, a couple other obvious ones we can just throw on there. Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, Fallen Order. I would throw in a Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga.
The Complete Saga or Skywalker Saga?
Complete Saga. I think it's better.
Huh. Interesting. I would say Skywalker Saga is better, but we'll leave it at Complete Saga. How about fucking pod racing? What are we doing?
Yes. Yeah, obviously. We just talked about it.
How about Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith?
Also a good one. Yeah, with the alternate ending and all that.
God, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I played that game so much. I'm just going to say Revenge of the Sith. That's too long for this.
Oh, and Jedi Power Battles?
Jedi Power Battles. I don't know that it's going to have legs.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll actually make it at the end, but have to mention it.
Because there's power. Remind me, I always get Jedi Power Battles and the one something Terrascasi.
Yeah, Masters of Terrascasi.
Masters of Terrascasi. Which one is the fighter and which one is the like action like brawler?
Ooh,
I think Jedi Power Battles is the one where you're like you play as like Qui-Gon and you're running around like fighting things, and I think Masters of Terrascasi is the like actual fighting game.
The fighting game, yeah, I believe so.
I didn't like Masters of Terrascasi, but I also don't like fighting games, so that's just
fair.
You know, a bias. And Ryan says you gotta mention
Battlefront.
Here's the question: do we say OG Battlefront? Obviously, 2 I think is the better of the two.
Is OG2,
and then do we say new Battlefront 2 or 1?
I think it's both 2s.
Both 2s. OG Battlefront 2, new Battlefront 2.
Yeah. New Battlefront 2 because I love that campaign.
It's a good campaign.
I think that was a very, very good
campaign. It is a very good campaign. How about an oft slept upon Star Wars game? Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Jango Fett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking, yeah. I played Jango Fett's Bounty Hunter again kind of recently. There's like a re-release on PS4 or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man. Did not hold up.
No, it doesn't hold up, but your memories of it are great.
But, oh my God, my memories of it are great. It's so funny when you play one of those kinds of games where it's like a game from your childhood that's been either just like given a new coat of paint or just the code has been updated to re-release in some capacity. And you have such a vivid, excellent memory of it as a kid. Like no notes, thinking everything in that game was so unbelievably good. And then I go to play it and I like can't get through the first level because it feels so bad. It's like, how did I play this game so much as a child? But I did.
And like it's the thing, you don't remember struggling with the controls.
Yeah.
Like it felt normal back then. And then you grab and you're like, why is this so clunky?
Correct. Did you ever play Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast?
Yes, and Jedi Academy. I think those are 2 that maybe it's hard to choose though because they're both good, but I don't know if we want to cheat again and put them both.
I feel like they're different enough.
They are.
They're quite different, really. And I think I prefer Outcast to Academy.
Okay, I'm the other.
What do you prefer? Talk to me about Academy over Outcast. Let's have a conversation.
I don't know why. I think in my brain I just have more memories of Academy.
Okay.
And that whole being a kid and like, oh my gosh, it's my Jedi that I customized and stuff, and now I'm learning from Luke and Kyle Katarn's there and XYZ. And then
that's fair. That's a good point
yeah,
because Jedi Outcast, there was always like almost like a natural like clunkiness to it because it's a sequel to Dark Forces, which is a
yeah,
first person shooter. And then all of a sudden now you're like there's like some first
it's
person
a
shooting
part
in
of
it, but
yeah.
it's also
And when you whip out the lightsaber, it's
yeah.
third. It's an interesting choice.
Yeah,
Do we think they bring that back for FOTOR?
Oh, maybe. No, actually no, I think you're right. I think I do prefer Academy to Outcast. I think Jedi Outcast is going to be the first game removed from the contention here.
It might be, yeah.
Um,
but throw it on the board.
I mean, I just deleted it, and I'm not
Okay.
pressing Control Z. It's gone. But Jedi Academy stays. How about the Clone Wars? Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
What do you think about the Clone Wars?
So there's the Clone Wars, and then there's the Clone Wars fighting game on the Wii that had a name.
Oh yeah, I never played that one.
That was a big one in our house. We got that one Christmas, and I remember playing it like it just became kind of a holiday time game, and we would play that anytime like the family's around.
Nice.
And
it's just a
with
fighting
the
game.
Lightsabers. It's a fighting game, but you're using the Wiimote, so you're actually slashing and stuff. So it added this novelty to it. It felt like we're actually lightsaber fighting. And I think one time we duct taped the Wii remote to a lightsaber and found out very quickly, the motions don't exactly line up. So you would clash, but your guys are 6 feet away and just slash at nothing. And
here, let me pull this up. So I see. You probably don't see this. In fact, I know you don't see this. No. But so it's like an arena battler, like an arena fighting game.
Yeah, you're in so like it's 3D like space. It's 2D, but you're in a 3D space, and it had all of the Clone Wars characters plus some that like were never in the show. Yeah, there's like a droid in there that's never been mentioned anywhere else that has lightsabers and can use lightning. And they're like, look at this guy.
What the fuck?
Never use him again. And
well, that's pretty cool. I somehow like never. I probably saw this game in like GameStop, and just assumed it was shit for whatever reason. Maybe that it was on the Wii, whatever. But this looks awesome.
It wasn't great, but it was definitely a fun time. The occasional times we broke it out, yeah.
Okay. So should it be on the list?
No.
No. Okay, great. No. Easy. Ryan Selvey says, I'm sure your parents' lamp probably didn't appreciate the lightsaber. I'm sure it
You know what? I can be proud to say I don't think we ever broke a TV or any like appliances or anything in the living room where we played the Wii.
One time, I don't know that I've ever told my parents this. I think I did finally fess up to it at some point. But we had a pool stick. We had one of those like miniature, not miniature like super small, but it was like it could be a foosball table, a pool table, and an air hockey table and a ping pong table. And it did all of them incredibly poorly, but it could do all of them. And it was just so bad. And so I would use the pool stick as like either like a bow staff or a sword, like depending on, whatever. And I was in my
thing.
Right, the kid thing for sure. And I was, playing around one day in the basement alone, and I'm like swinging around this whatever weapon it was at the time. And my dad, something about my dad, like his like biggest hobby is records. He has a radio show. He like does all sorts of he's like used to run record stores back in the day, like big record guy. He probably has like 10,000 records. This guy, like he has so many records. And I swung the pool stick, and I smacked the shit out of this like really thick box set record, like special edition thing. And I was like, oh no, I'm so fucked. And so I just like pulled it out and turned it around. And so that like indentation was behind the thing. And it like never came up ever. And like, I'm sure at some point he finally saw it, but I don't know how long it took him to notice it. And like I said, I don't know that I've ever fessed up to that, but this, at this point, had to be at least 25 years ago, probably. But here's the thing. I could still be in trouble. Who's to say? Also,
clip
Fringe
it out
Dip.
and send it.
Clip it out. Send it to Dad. The Fringe Dip design. We star in our wars, boys. Oh, we star in our wars, boys. And I'm so glad you're here.
In the wars hard.
I'm gonna get so grounded though. That's so true. Nate, what am I missing before we start whittling down? I think I'm peeking at my list real fast. I think that's everything on my list. Because I'm conceding the complete saga from Skywalker Saga for you. So everything else that I wrote down is on here.
I don't think maybe it should be on there. But Star Wars Squadrons is pretty good. I know you were just talking about not liking them flight sim, but this is one that
you're gonna have to really convince me on that one because I bought that game and in like a hope because I'd heard it was good and I was like, maybe this will be the one. And I played it for about 30 minutes. I was like, well, that was a waste of $39.99.
And then we mentioned KOTOR. Is KOTOR on there?
KOTOR's on there, so is KOTOR 2. And then now I just added the Old Republic for Ryan in the chat, which is a game that you have played and I have not. But I really want to play it. And I've wanted to play it for years of my life. But I've just never had the PC to do it. But now I do, and I don't know why. It's downloaded right now. It's like 160 gigs or something. It's so big. It's so big. Game. Yeah. But Kayla and I and other folks of Dido have talked more than once about maybe doing streams of it. And I'm very serious about that. We just keep being busy. Busy little bees buzzing around, but I do want to play it at some point, and I'm going to need you to help me. But I think unless there's another one that we're forgetting, I think this is a good place to stop and start moving the things around to build #build the list.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay.
No other big ones are popping out.
So I think the way we can start this is like, what are the obvious really big ones? I think the obvious really big ones are the KOTORs. I think Force Unleashed. Yes. I think OG Battlefront. I think Republic Commando. I think
Fallen
for
Order,
now, Pod Racer. Fallen Order for sure. I feel like these 2, 4, 6. I feel like these 7 are really safe so far. But that also, like, I could see all of these making it. Maybe Pod Racer is like kind of on the outskirts of this list. But I feel like these 6 for sure are in.
Yes, I think that's good.
So then that only leaves us 4 out of like 15 games on here, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So do any of these games immediately jump out to you or the chat as being not going to have the stuff to make the list? I feel like Bounty Hunter probably doesn't have the stuff. As much as I love that game.
Probably won't make it, yeah.
Convince me on Star Wars Squadron unless you don't think it makes the top 10.
I don't think it makes the top 10.
Done.
If it was top 15, I'd make the argument.
Top 15? Okay. I also think Dark Forces, this might be sacrilege for people, but I don't think it makes it. I would also say probably
Jedi Power Battle.
Probably Jedi Power Battle doesn't make it. It sounds like the Clone Wars. Oh wait, no, right. That was the Wii game. I mean, so the one I'm talking about was on the GameCube. It was like a tie-in to the second movie, but it did the thing where like it told other stories too. And there were like multiple game modes. There was like, but it was like these big battles. But there was ones where like you would play with like vehicles, or actually, was it all vehicle based?
See, you might have stumbled on one that either I have no memory of playing or I haven't played.
I turned the sound on this video that no one else can see. So yeah, it's Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I'm gonna do just a quick. Oh yeah, no, you were on foot at times for sure. But it was a game. Yeah, it was like a tie-in. It was like a movie tie-in, but they would go off the beaten path and do like, oh, this part of the movie now you're following Isla Secura or whatever, like of the in the movies. Probably not actually gonna make the cut, but I remember playing it so much as a kid. Because there was also like the local multiplayer mode where you could be in like a big battle. Like you could be in like the end of episode 2 battle on Geonosis on either side of the battle. Like, so like those kinds of things were cool. But I think probably not going to make the cut. Shadows of the Empire is the one for me where like I said, I remember that one level, but I don't remember much else. So, and you were kind of in the
Yeah.
same boat as me, right, Nate?
Yeah,
On that one?
I remember probably multiple levels, but a lot of them have just like that imperial architecture and kind of similar feel and look.
Yeah. So Ryan in the chat, I need a little help from you on this one. If you think that it
Yes.
should be considered for the top 10, because I do think, even though I'm not a Rogue Squadron girly, I do think that probably actually does make sense to be in the top
Yes,
10.
I think yeah, it probably bottom half somewhere closer
Yeah.
9 or
1,
10,
2, 3, 4,
but
5, 6,
still
7.
needs its flowers for what it did at the time.
Sierra says, I'm assuming, I'm not sure if you mean, you probably mean Shadows of the Empire. It was really well made, just not most folks' type of game. Okay, we'll throw it at the bottom right now. It's a bubble game right now. Do you think the Old Republic makes sense to be in the list,
Hmm.
or do you think it's too basic
God,
MMOE?
see, it's MMOE, but it also has some of the best Star Wars stories, period, within that game.
Oh, okay.
Like the whole Knights of the Eternal Throne storyline is phenomenal. That is a all-timer in just Star Wars, period.
Okay.
So I think yes, it's MMOE and it's not easy to really get into, but got a lot of meat on the bones.
Okay. So we're at 8 right now, 9 if we count Shadows of the Empire, with 1, 2, 3,
Mhm.
4, 5 left over here. I do feel like Pod Racer makes sense, even though it's a
Pod
janky
Racer does
game.
make
I think it's
absolutely. I
very
have
good.
extremely fond memories of it. You saw how many people are excited for the new one.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think also Lego Star Wars, I mean, one of the most successful game franchises, probably. Just
Yeah,
Lego
I
Star
think.
Wars in general.
So and from what I've seen, the complete saga is like the most well-regarded one. I think when
Yeah,
people point to a Lego Star Wars game, it's that
sure.
one. And maybe part of that's just nostalgia.
Maybe. But I also think that the um, Lego games were at its best at large during the run of the Star Wars games. Um, and, when it was still somewhat fresh before they ran it into the fucking ground with Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, like all of these different IP. Actually, Back to the Future, they might not have done that. I might be thinking of Telltale. But still, it feels like Harry Potter was another big one. I feel like people
Yes.
kind of stopped caring about Lego games for a long time, but then Skywalker Saga kind of reinvigorated it a bit, I think. And I'm interested to see,
Yeah.
do we have another? Do you remember? This might not be Star Wars related. Do you remember if we have heard about another Skywalker Saga esque Lego game in the works? Do we know? Are they doing a DC one?
The Batman one coming up in like I
The
think it's next
Batman one
year.
that comes out in like 3 months. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
the
They
one
are
with
doing that again.
the worst Batman voice that's ever been.
That's ever. Yep. Yeah, that's right. So I'm a lot less interested now that I remember that that's what it is. Shit. I don't know that New Battlefront deserves a spot. What do you think?
Mm. Gosh, part of me really does. I think it's still got such an active player base, and
Sure.
yeah, had a really rocky start, but it's God, that game is really fun to play. Even if you're bad at it, being so immersed in those battles and stuff is unlike any other Star Wars experience, I feel like. There's no other right now of that scale, boots on the ground, like, oh, I am a clone trooper, and seeing like the waves of them by you, just for like, I don't know what it gives in terms of immersion
Yeah.
and being a Star Wars game.
Okay, we'll leave it for now. I think we probably need to cut Jedi Academy then.
You might be right.
Yeah. Ryan Selby's saying these Twitch ads are aggressive. He can't hear me, but
Maybe
maybe
sub.
maybe a subscription would fix that.
Maybe a sub.
You got to have a Twitch Prime, Daddy. Boom, easy. Okay, so KOTOR 2, Force Unleashed 1 and 2, OG Battlefront 2, Republic Commando, Jedi Fallen Order, Rogue Squadron, The Old Republic puts us at 8. So we have 2 spots left with Shadows of the Empire, Pod Racer, Revenge of the Sith, which we haven't talked about yet in this version 2 of the conversation. Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, New Battlefront 2. Here's the thing. I think Revenge of the Sith, a lot of people probably expect that that's not going to make the cut. I'm here to make the case for Revenge of the Sith.
Tell me about it.
Revenge of the Sith, I think, is one of the most fun movie tie-in video games ever. And that's not enough to just warrant making the list, because that is a pretty low scale of quality. However, I think up until that point, whatever year that was, that it must have been 2005 or 6-ish, something in that, give or take 2 years, is something we were really yearning for, was like a good Jedi and Sith action game specifically. By that point, we had gotten to KOTOR, so we had the turn-based slower version. We had Jedi power battles, but like not a super quality game.
Yeah.
And so there was, I feel like it served a very good, like, oh, I'm actually Anakin, I'm actually Obi-Wan. And then what you kind of alluded to earlier, this alternate ending if Anakin wins, because the if you don't know the game, the last level of the fight is the Anakin Obi-Wan fight on Mustafar in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and it's like a huge level. Like it's like as involved as the fight is in the movie. All sorts of like quick time events, but you're also just like fighting. It was pre the quick time event movement, so you're still very much like you're just fighting the other person with like combos and all these kinds of things. And I remember it feeling so cool to actually do the Mustafar battle as either Anakin or Obi-Wan. And then see an alternate ending. What could have happened if Anakin beats Obi-Wan? And I remember thinking that was so fucking cool. And it not only did it have the music from the movie, but it interspliced scenes from the movie, actual bits of the movie itself. So you like, you do a battle on like the Enterprise, like galactic ship, whatever, like the really huge one at the beginning. Enterprise is a size, not as I'm not referring to Star Trek.
Yeah.
I forget what they call it. The really, really big ship.
Yes.
And you go kill Count Dooku, and then they cut in the fucking scene of Anakin chopping off Dooku's head, and then the giant ship crashing into Coruscant. Like that's the kind of shit that this game would do. And I remember as a kid being like, I'm watching the movie, and the movie's not even on DVD yet, or whatever. Like I remember thinking, very fucking cool. Now, is that enough to be a top 10 Star Wars game of all time? That's up to you. But I remember fucking loving Revenge of the Sith. Because we're gonna have to have a tough conversation. We're gonna have a tough conversation if Revenge of the Sith makes it, because that only leaves one spot for these 4 video games, or we have to cut one of these other 8. But I don't know that we can cut any of them, because we've already said Force Unleashed 1 and 2 is one game.
Yeah. Oh no.
What do you think? We got 2 spots for these 5 video games. What would, if you gun to your head, what would you pick of these 5? See if we can at least knock one in if we both pick the same.
I would pick the Complete Saga. I have the most, I know it's probably nostalgia, but I have the most fondness for that. Me and my brother playing that on the Wii for, I feel like years of constantly going back to it. So I feel like Complete Saga. And the rest are really hard. This is,
I know, isn't it?
A tough spot.
I think you know the answer.
I think it's Pod Racer.
I think it's Pod Racer. So I think Pod Racer definitely is in there. So now we have to choose on the last one. I think of these 4, I think I would kill Shadows of the Empire. I would say
maybe kill the new Battlefront 2.
I think kill New Battlefront 2. I think it's between maybe Revenge of the Sith
like
and Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. Yeah. I think.
Oh boy.
I will concede. I will concede to Lego Star Wars. I can respect the saga of Lego Star Wars, or not the saga, the history of Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, and say Revenge of the Sith is an honorable mention.
You know what? I can live with that. Yes.
Okay. I dig it. Now, the question becomes, do we want to put them in order, Nate?
Yes.
I think we do. I fear we do
I
want to
think we
put them in
do.
order. Starting from the bottom, I think Old Republic probably makes sense at the bottom. I think
Yes.
I think Pod Racer honestly probably makes sense at the bottom.
And probably Rogue Squadron as well.
I think Rogue Squadron makes sense at the bottom. Not these. We'll reorder these in a second, but I also think probably bottom half, but top of the bottom half, I would put Republic Commando. Maybe like in the
That's
5
fair.
to 6 range, I would probably put Republic Commando.
Yeah.
I would probably also throw like a Star Wars Complete Saga down here as well.
I think that is a great start already.
I think this is actually a pretty good order. Although I might personally flip Pod Racer and Rogue Squadron. I might even just put Rogue Squadron at 10, but that's bias. That's anti-dogfighting bias.
Yeah.
But this is a bottom 5 feels good to me.
Yes, I think so too. I think that's solid. All right, now going up. What's directly above Republic Commando?
I would say maybe KOTOR 2. No. I would say KOTOR 2 is probably like 4. So I would then probably put Fallen Order at 5.
You know, I would actually put OG Battlefront 2 at 5.
No, I fuck with that. I fuck with that a lot, actually.
And then Fallen Order.
And then KOTOR 2.
And then
Force
KOTOR
Unleashed 1 and
2.
2. And then KOTOR.
And then KOTOR. Yep.
Yeah, easy.
I think we did it.
Fucking easy. I think we did it. You know what we didn't really do, though, is talk about KOTOR and Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Now, you know, name a podcast that hasn't talked about, a gaming podcast that hasn't talked about those two games or those two franchises. But now it's our turn. So here's the thing. I have talked a lot about KOTOR on podcasts before. I mean, a top 3 video game for me.
Yes.
Maybe not 3, maybe definitely 5 though. 100% top 5. Unbelievable story. Like an all fucking timer.
Yeah, I will never forget the twist of the.
I will never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfucking believable. Force Unleashed, however, a game I've not spoken very much about on content before.
And I could speak about it for hours because not only is it just Force Unleashed 1 and 2, it is Force Unleashed 1 and 2 on the 360 and then Force Unleashed 1 and 2 on the Wii because they are different games.
Very different games. Completely different engines, I think. Like, because the Wii version, obviously, a lot of motion control. And then the graphics were like dog shit compared to.
There was optional to not. I think that's why I really got into it. Yeah, so you could just play it clicking buttons.
Okay. But I do remember there being because this was the time when they would try to do third-party games on the Wii, and usually they were just absolute dog shit because the Wii just didn't have the processing power of the Xbox 360 and the PS3.
Listen, just aside, my first introduction to Call of Duty was Black Ops 1 on the Wii.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
So good.
And
that was
you liked the franchise.
And then I liked the franchise for a few years.
Wow. Okay. To get Call of Duty on the Wii and still be bought in is a testament to those developers. The Force Unleashed, I also like, so you said like the twist being just like a core of KOTOR, being a core gaming memory. The opening of Force Unleashed is such a core memory for me too, because similar to the case I made for Revenge of the Sith and this following generation of video games, we hadn't really had like a super realistic Jedi or Sith. It was action game.
It was the Force power fantasy, like come to life.
Correct. Like we had some lightsaber things before, but this was the first time I felt like we were going to have like an actual huge, like epic seeming video game. And I remember opening as fucking Darth Vader on Kashyyyk.
So hard. Just
oh my God.
Literally throwing Wookiees off the edges. Yeah.
So fucking cool. And like there's so many that time in video games was so good about bringing unique or rather creative solutions to let a gamer have some kind of a power fantasy. So like in the example of this game, like holding or hold R2 and L2 to grab this massive fucking ship out of the sky. And it's like,
You rip
all
a
you're
Star
doing.
Destroyer out of orbit. Like, that's
Yeah,
the
there
coolest
we go.
thing
Star
Star
Destroyer.
Wars has ever done. Yeah.
Right. It's like this, all you're doing is just holding two buttons, but
Yeah.
it just like it being such a cool thing to engage in, it feeling so much bigger than. I remember being like, this is one of the coolest fucking video games I've ever fucking played. This is so, I
Yeah.
loved The Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Although it's been so long and I have not played them since they came out. I don't, like, I replayed them back then, but probably 3 years after these games came out, I've never played them again. So I get them confused at this point. Like I don't really know the difference between 1 and 2 anymore, other than I remember very vividly the beginning of 1. But in 2, is it just a direct continuation of 1?
Yeah. So basically, sorry, spoilers if you haven't played it yet. 1 ends with one of two ways. You have multiple endings, which was also a thing.
That's
I
right.
feel like
That's right.
wasn't done a ton. And there was the one ending that led to a DLC in number 1. That was like the dark side ending. You basically take Darth Vader's place. That was super sick. And then that is the alternate timeline. You go to Tatooine, to Hoth, and you get to fight Luke and all that. And that was sick. The light side ending, which is like the real one, canon, whatever, that leads directly into 2, where it's like Starkiller died, and then they successfully cloned him. And the
That's
whole
right.
premise of 2 is the cloning of a Force user.
That's right. That's right. God, I want to go play these games again. Have they been re-released, like a remaster type situation?
I don't think remastered, but they're both. I have them both on Xbox, and you can still play and download them super easy. I think I even got all of the DLC and like cosmetic packs for super cheap not long ago.
Kayla in the chat, if you're still here, I fear 2026 Video Game Book Club calls for a Force Unleashed reckoning and revisiting. That'd be fun if like there was every now and then like going back in the bargain bin of time for old, like a very old game that we adore. Could be very fun, could be very good. And if we don't do it on JK Games, maybe we do it on Taito. This list feels very good to me though. I feel like we're all pretty much in agreement that KOTOR is the best Star Wars video game ever. And like there are some people that'll prefer 2 to 1 because of the improvements of some of the gameplay styles, or not styles, but like there's just some quality of life improvements in some capacities. And like some people prefer the places you go into versus 1, but I think unequivocally 1 tells a better story than 2. I think 2's story is still very strong, but I think 1 tells a better story than 2.
I enjoy the villains of 2 more. The whole Sith triumvirate, whatever they call it, of having 3 of these, 3 of these massively powerful Sith that like one of them's literally, he should be dead, but he's holding himself together with the dark side. You're like, what the what? And yeah.
Star Wars used to be so fucking cool.
Hey, it still is. Listen,
sometimes
the Mandalorian and Grogu is coming.
That's true. Well, brother. No, I did really love Andor, but that's the only. Actually, you know what I really loved? That Jude Law show with the kids.
Oh, Skeleton Crew slap.
Skeleton Crew was fantastic, and no one cared.
Yeah.
Big fan of Skeleton Crew. I'm just saying, Friendship Design in the chat, so down for a Force Unleashed video game book club. The people are yearning.
The people call for it. Yep.
The people call for it. The people say, press R2 to use the Force. I'm just saying. Man, I remember the very first time to talk about Force Unleashed again. Because like with KOTOR, you could learn Force powers. You could learn lightning if you're going bad and stuff. You could do the Force pushes and the Force pulls. Too. But the first time in the Force Unleashed, getting like an overpowered Force push and just sending people flying. Oh my God, dude.
Or doing the fully upgraded Force pulse where you do the everywhere around you. And if people are close enough, they disintegrate. Insane.
Yeah, because that was the time where games, one of the ways to like set itself apart by looking good was like particle type stuff of like,
And
oh, there's even more things on screen that can move.
yeah,
And I remember The Force Unleashed being a very good example of that. And like, oh, also rain was such a big thing at that
yeah,
time of like, oh, a game looks good if the rain looks good. And brother, the rain in The Force Unleashed looked fucking good.
yeah. They knew what they were doing. Starting off too on Camino, you spend like a
Yeah.
decent amount of time there. They were like,
Oh yeah.
look what we can do. Look at the tech.
Well, I think we did it. KOTOR number 1, Force
I
Unleashed
think we did
as
it.
a franchise number 2, KOTOR 2 number 3, Jedi Fallen Order, a game we talked literally nothing about the entire podcast, but we just
I
know that it's
love it.
number 4. It's a great game.
Yeah.
I didn't love Survivor as much. I liked Survivor fine, but I felt like it fell into traps.
Yeah, I liked the story of 1, but the combat of 2.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. I think also Survivor got a little too big. I think it tried to
Yes,
go
that
too many places.
that main planet is a little large and has a little
Yeah.
too many secrets. And with
Yeah,
how
it's
the
like,
map is
oh,
laid out, it's
we're in the desert. More.
more.
Oh, yeah. OG Battlefront 2, number 5. Republic Commando, number 6. Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, number 7. Pod Racer, Star Wars Episode 1, Pod Racer, number 8. Star Wars Rogue Squadron, number 9. And rounding out the number 10, The Old Republic, with an honorable mention to Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. This feels very good to me.
Yes, this is a good top 11.
Kayla says, jaw-dropping moment for me in the first game that Hunter caught on camera. Gotta find it. Ooh, I don't remember what the jaw-dropping moment. Oh, I do remember the jaw-dropping moment of the first
Was
game,
it
actually.
the
I
end?
mean,
Is
yeah,
it
toward the
probably
end. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I remember, we can just spoil that moment right now for the sake of the pod. Spoilers if you don't want to know about this. That's your final warning. I was so pissed, Nate. I was so excited for this game. It looked so good. So excited. Oh, Respawn's doing a fucking Jedi action Souls like in some
Yeah.
capacities. Um, looks fucking unbelievable. I buy it. It's like day 2. I've made unbelievable progress in this video game. I'm like, I've waited years for this and I'm going to burn through it in a weekend. Oh no, but I'm having such a great time. I turn on the TV. I'm just having a casual, let's call it a Saturday night, flipping channels. What happens, Nate? I go to a channel, I'm watching whatever. Let's just say it's the holiday season. I'm watching The Holiday on TNT, Nate.
Sure.
And what happens? It goes to commercial break. They say, oh, new Star Wars video game out now, Jedi Fallen Order, and they fucking
They
show
show
Darth
it.
Vader in the trailer. Oh, I
Yeah,
have
that's rough.
truly never been so pissed being spoiled of something by a commercial than the climactic fucking moment of Jedi Fallen Order when
Because then you
Darth
get
Vader
there and you
shows
go,
up.
this would have been cool if I saw this naturally for the first time.
Correct. And I got
That's
there literally like within the next 48 hours. And it was as if the fucking wind was just taken out of my sails. In hindsight, it's still a great fucking moment. But oh, the rage I felt sitting on the couch, like, are you fucking kidding me? Did you just spoil the ending of this video game for me that I'm in the middle of playing that I just spent for like $70 on? Oh, I was so pissed.
this is a larger problem that I've noticed with trailers more and more. Like
Oh, for
they
sure.
show big stuff, whether it's games, movies, anything. Their secrets just don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm really
It's
nervous
bullshit.
to watch the new like Avengers trailer.
I don't want to. Because, and also, like, I'm probably not going to see the new Avatar in theaters, but apparently there's going to be like 4 trailers before it or something. I saw like some throwaway headline. I didn't really read it, but it's getting completely out of hand. Kayla asks, how do you guys feel about the people that get mad when the Skywalkers get introduced into the games and media, even if it is seemingly unrelated? I will never not be excited to see Darth Vader. What do you think about that quandary, Nate?
I don't remember anything in like recent memory of it being done in a way that didn't make sense. So like every time Vader's popped up recently, it kind of makes
Sure,
sense
I
for him to
think,
be there.
you know, for sure. I think, but there are a lot of people that are like, can we tell a story that's not about the Skywalkers? I think is just like
Yeah.
generally something that people often say and think. How do you feel about that as a concept versus wanting to just what I think people think of like, oh, let's just cash in on the Skywalker name, essentially.
Yeah, if it's a game that's set during the Empire and stuff, and Darth Vader shows up, I'll never be mad because that's his stomping ground. That was his time in the limelight. That's
Sure.
the Darth Vader era. If it's any other time, then like, yeah, leave him out. Like
Sure.
if they do some other game set within the first 3 movies and they don't show Anakin or any of that like main crew, yeah, I'm cool with that. But if they do show up, it'll be like, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess the only
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I guess the only time that I'm like, oh, it really wouldn't make sense is if in an Old Republic setting or even in Racer, if they do try to make some Skywalker connection, because then it's like, that's shoehorning in. That doesn't make sense.
Fair. No, that's a good way to look at it. I think I am somewhere in the middle where there are times that I wish it didn't have to be connected in some capacity. Like, actually, one of the really big examples I think that people really don't fuck with, spoilers for episode 9, the movie, finding out that Rey is a Skywalker, of like, oh, come on, she had, and like, I don't know that I really care about that, honestly, like, but I think that is one of the bigger examples that people get pissed about.
I do think people get pissed at that for the wrong reason, though, because it's very much they were trying to tell a story, although done very poorly, of found family, and that you were more than just your name, and that she's not literally Skywalker by blood, but she chose the name at the end of all that because of everything she did and her connection to the Skywalkers, even though it was really, really short. But I think that is definitely fine with me because they weren't like, oh, she's literally blood related.
Sure. I also feel like with that, it's the kind of thing where it's like it's episode 9. It's all connect. Like I think it's a very fair assumption or a fair story beat to make this new protagonist also be connected to the overall main character of this story that is now 9 episodes long. Like that to me makes sense. So it didn't necessarily bother me. Ryan in the chat says it just made me think of Palpatine's dick. Ryan, you were thinking of that long before Rey was a Skywalker.
Me too.
I mean, for me, 3, dude. That shrivelly old thing. But I think, for me, I don't really care as long as it's telling a good story. But I'm not one of those folks that are like, get away from the Skywalker name. I just want there to be a good story, which is something that Star Wars has struggled with more than it hasn't in the last, let's say, 20 years of telling good stories or stories that don't stay good all the way through more often than not. But yeah, Kaylin a good point. There's a reason why it's popular for sure.
Yeah.
She says,
she also said, do you think it's Rey and Fotor? And no, because this is the Old Republic, which is 2,000 years or something in the past. So if it is, I'm going to be pissed because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it definitely, I think, that's very funny. Kayla in the chat saying Skywalker is not Palpatine's dick. It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy for them to make this character a Skywalker for what you just said. But I do think it was let's call it cheeky marketing decision to make this character look a lot like Rey so that people would talk about it.
Back on that. I don't think she's made to look like Rey. I think it's supposed to look like Bastila Shan or her daughter Satele Shan, who is from the Old Republic MMO. And because this is set in the Old Republic, I think that makes a lot more sense. Even if it's not one of them, maybe it's part of that family.
For sure. I more so the point I was making was that by having it look somewhat like her, it has earned them all sorts of headlines and titles that is getting clicks and numbers and eyes. And, a new Star Wars game doesn't need much to get every headline that it can get. But I wouldn't be surprised if someone brought up in a creative meeting, hey, what do you think about this character maybe looking a little bit like Rey? And then be like, I mean, it's not that bad to just let it happen, kind of thing. But that's just my marketing brain coming through. Sirius says Galactic Racer is on Jakku, and the website specifically calls out Rey, whether or not they're in it. So,
if she is, she'll be like 10 years old.
hey, 10-year-olds can race, as
we have learned. Yes,
as we have learned in episode 1.
Maybe it was never mentioned in the movie, but she actually wins the Galactic Racer circuit, and that's who you're playing as.
Ba-boom. There you go. I had a couple like quick little stories for our news spotlight, but honestly, this feels like a good place to end it. A nice, well-rounded Star Wars conversation. What do you say to that, Nate?
I'm very satisfied.
I love that. Folks, what a beautiful conversation that you all were a part of. Ryan says wait, so I'm waiting. But thanks for being here in the meantime. Thanks for being here in the chat, having a good time with us. Can you rally off the list? Where did it land? Yes. Of course. Not only will I rattle it off, I'll show you it. Number 1, KOTOR. Number 2, The Force Unleashed. And, you know, we were a little naughty. We said The Force Unleashed 1 and 2, but The Force Unleashed is number 2. KOTOR 2 is number 3. Jedi Fallen Order, number 4. OG Battlefront 2, number 5. Republic Commando, number 6. Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, not the Skywalker Saga, much to my chagrin, is number 7. Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer, number 8. Rogue Squadron, number 9. The Old Republic, number 10. And an honorable mention to Revenge of the Sith. In a perfect world, in 8 years, no, let me rephrase. In a perfect world, in 4 years, we're having this conversation again, and KOTOR is somewhere in that top 5.
In a perfect world, next year we will be talking about phones.
Very, very good. You are not wrong. Nate, one last time, plug the folks at home where they can find you around on the internet.
Headgear everywhere. That's TikTok, Instagram, Twitch. I'm doing a cool thing in 2026 where...
Hold on. Hold, please. I just fucked you.
Please.
I closed I closed a window of what I was screen sharing, and so it just completely fucked the scene. Yes. So start over.
Headgear everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. And once again, I'm doing a cool thing in 2026 on Twitch where I am choosing a game to play through that is older and then building a helmet from that game to then give away when the game is finished.
That'll be Who won the Dead Space helmet?
I promise there was no collusion. There was no paying off.
Mm-hmm.
Our boy Phil from 70% Complete did win.
That piece of shit. He doesn't even like Dead Space, probably.
No, totally. He hasn't already told me about, setting it up in his room and making a little light stand for it. I don't know.
Amazing. No, good for him. Very good. Yeah, Kayla, they have one at JK Games. Maybe one day we're going to have one for Drop and Drop Out. Maybe we'll even have one for Spotlight Games if I ask Nate. Who knows?
Who knows? But
Nate, thank you for being here. What a lovely conversation. The number 1 Star Wars freako in my heart, and now everyone's heart at home. We're going to raid out to Shay Noel, give her some love, say Spotlight Games says hello, and say you're excited for the Hades 2 podcast on Thursday on Drop and Drop Out, because then people are going to be like, ooh, let's go to Drop and Drop Out pod on Thursday, which will be very good. But until then, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.